Hi guys, this is your favorite mistake, TheSirenSayz, and welcome back to my commentary channel where I speak about movie, TV, and soon-to-come books, and everything that I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in the middle and all throughout and in between those frames of media. Oh, alright. The title, or at least the thumbnail of this episode will say Slice of Life Noir. Interesting, Tyler Perry. So I'm definitely keeping that. Gary popping up at the end was hilarious. I fell out of my chair because, to be honest, I was bored. In the beginning I was annoyed because it started off with Danny, but after the bio stuff, like, I was getting bored. Then here comes Gary. You know what, Tyler? You know I don't appreciate Gary being a sense of comedic relief, but I'd heard a couple rumors about his storyline, so I know why he was there. Spoiler alert, skip through 10 seconds if you don't want to hear 15. So apparently he is engaged to Jordan's sister. Gary's engaged to Jordan's sister, and he knocked her up. So she's his pregnant fiance. That's why he's there. Gary in the promos acting like he didn't know Andy, and Andy's like, I'm not even gonna pretend that I don't know you. Like, why are we okay? Wow. Oh, I forgot my disclaimers. These people are not real. Tyler Perry, I don't know what you're doing, but we're along for the ride at this point, I guess. So we spoke about Gary. That's all I really want to say about it right now. We're obviously going to get a little bit more in the next episode when it comes to that. Let's talk about Andy. So, oh my God. So, Andy was just being Andy. Okay, she wants the guy to show a level of initiative. And I'm not going to be upset with her for that. Okay? Like, if you have standards, keep them. If you have a level of initiative that you want somebody to have because they say that they like you and you're a grown-ass man and you're in your 30s or late 20s, like, do what needs to be done. I don't understand why his friends need to cajole him to call her. What, you think she's too good for you? Like, sir, temper yourself. Calm down, breathe. Recognize that this bougie girl went on a bus for you, which I am still totally against. Right? Even Maurice is like, a bus? Like, every time people are like, a bus, I'm like, yeah, that's the reaction they're supposed to have. But whatever. So she's over it. It's literally the end of the workday. Night has fallen. And that's when he finally gets the cojones to call. So of course she's ignoring it. But Fatima struggle love Fatima the struggle love was just like, oh my God. Okay, Jordan has money. She's not gonna be struggling, but you know who I prefer Andy to be with, and so it's always gonna be a struggle for me. So Fatima facilitates, trying to make Andy look good while also forcing Andy to make it to this dinner date. So she dresses up and, she heads over to Sabrina's. The phone call. There was something about the phone call that I wanted to remember. It was something. It has to do with Fatima. So we're going to talk about that right after this. But, like, him just being like, your body, you're so pretty, you're so smart. And I'm so, okay. Okay, great. No problem with that. Hopefully I get to see more chemistry. I mean, Tyler Perry really is good at, like, bringing attractive people to the fore and having them be boring. It's like, you're great at that. You're great. So we'll see what goes on with Andy and Jordan. We'll see how it progresses. We'll see if the sliver of hope I have will be met in any such way or fashion. Let's get into Sabrina right now because I need to get into Sabrina, because girl, what we not gonna do? Okay, what we're not gonna do is pin this all on Bio. I'm sorry. Was Bio wrong for what he did? 1000%. Am I glad he's out the show at this point? Yes, and I said that. I said if Bio calls her the B word, he just needs to go. But I agree with everything he said before he called her the B word. Sorry. When he said that she just used him for money, I agree. Used him for money. I agree. Now I know that it's kind of like with the Robin thing. Like when Robin had insinuated that Andy was a little loose, right? We know that she's not completely loose, but I could see how Robin came to that conclusion. In the same way, we know that Sabrina does not like to use people, right? It was hard for her to even ask Andy for help. So we know that she's not a user. But I'm not upset at the conclusion that Bio came to. Because Bio wasn't playing no games with her. Like, girl, you knew what time it was. You knew he was going to have to do something for this money. And even though he wasn't going to like marry you off and put you in a harem, you knew that you were going to have to do something for this money. And I can't believe that you're still going with the thought process that like he's a homophobe, when that's not necessarily what I'm getting from that. Like, what was Tyler Perry's whole point of giving Bio that gotcha moment a few episodes ago if he's still going to lead with the storyline that he's homophobic and Sabrina needs to dip? Like, what? Common sense is a virtue, Sabrina, and you was looking real stupid right there. You and Danny was just like annoying the crap out of me to a certain extent. Thank God we're here with Rich now, so you don't got to annoy me no more, but good grief. Bio threatened her, right? I don't condone that, but you know, when you mess around with a prince like that, I don't know what you expect. There are going to be consequences. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see what those consequences are. I pray her safety. Let's get into Danny really quickly. I feel so bad for Preston. I wish he would just like take this as a sign, and instead of like trying to talk to Danny, just like, okay, I see what's going on here. Just like go on a casual dinner with like him and his brother to like, well, never mind, his brothers are racist. Like just go on a casual double date with like him, Fatima and Zach, and him and Tanya. Yeah. The petty side of me is coming out tonight. That's what he needs to do. Just go out with her. Yeah, I'm here with that, honestly. Just needs to go out with her, because in what world? Danny and Sabrina were just gaslighting the hell out of Bio and Preston. So, as we all know, Preston heard some of that conversation to the point where he was able to put two and two together and realize that Danny was out with this guy last night, right? Danny proceeds to say that he's doing too much and he's acting jealous. Girl, if I smack the crap out you, Danny, when I catch you, Danny, when I catch you, Danny, stop, don't do that. You're literally conflicted. I don't know why you're conflicted. You don't know enough about Tony to be conflicted. Number one, warning, I'ma be real. Real opinions, real thoughts. You might not agree. I might be a little disrespectful. Skip 20 seconds. Preston is better looking than Tony, so it can't be, ooh, he finer than my man. So that's nothing for you to be conflicted about. All he do is smoke and drink and listen to hip hop. Once again, what is there for you to be conflicted about? Once again, one more thing, okay? He listened to all your phone conversations consistently. I know he likes you, right? But if I heard somebody talking loud all the time, I would try to maybe avoid it every now and then. He knows about the booty warrior. How did he find out? Like, he's listening to all your phone calls? All of them? Apparently, what we're supposed to believe is that Tony didn't know Preston was white. So after he saw the person was white, that's when he got defensive. Cause let's protect our queens. Ibombe, get out of Wakanda. Don't do that to Wakanda. Don't do that. When Tony said that she seemed like she was pro-black, I wanted to throw my screen in the trash. Didn't I talk about this, right? Didn't I say in my Danny, please check out my Danny video. I'm starting a series where I just talk about the characters, my thoughts on these characters so far. In the Danny video, I brought up that because she seemed pro-black, she seemed at the least likely to be with a man of palm color complexion. And Tony, who has been listening to her conversation for the last year, is shocked that she's giving white chocolate a chance. Now, this annoyed me for many reasons. I appreciate that Danny didn't just immediately agree with him. She kind of did a little pushback. But what annoyed me was the fact that Tony felt like he had to quantify it by saying, I'm not saying that you dating a white guy delegitimizes your fight. Woo! Sorry, headphone users. Men of the noir complexion who are very pro-black outright and have a following online date out a lot. We're not gonna get into it because that's not what this channel is about, but you can look on YouTube. Them niggas who be like fight the power, they date out a lot. And a few historical figures that are known for black power dated out and cheated on their wives. But we're not gonna talk about that either. So I think it's really just grimy and uneducated and strange and double standard and a little bit misogynoir for him to like, he tried to backtrack but almost to insinuate, how can you be pro-black when you sleep white? Okay, Tony, what cause are you fighting for? What cause? Let me know. Write down the charities and give me a 12-page dissertation on the Atlantic slave trade. What do you want? What do you want? Trash. Good grief. So for some reason Danny is conflicted and she doesn't want to talk to Preston, which is already a giant red flag. I just need Preston to go over there and find Tanya. I just need to go find Tanya. Yeah. So while they were talking, Tony and Danny, I removed Preston from the equation to see, okay, they're just talking, having banter. Do I like them? I still don't. They bore me. And Tony makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not completely sure why, but Tony makes me super uncomfortable. So, yeah, Tyler, you're gonna have to try again. Or let Danny's character development stick this time, instead of starting her on an arc and then erasing it. Just a thought. Anyways, y'all know Danny's not my favorite character anymore, so it is what it is. But one thing I did agree with is that, you know, Sabrina should really try to lock things down with Rich. So, you know, Danny, she always has some point, so I agree with that. But I didn't like the way she was speaking to Preston and speaking about him afterwards to everybody, like he was insecure and jealous. Like, girl, you're cheating. You're cheating on him and he caught you. You're cheating on him because you just locked it down officially. Even though in my opinion they were official at least one time before this, but in her opinion now they're actually official. You're cheating on him and he caught you. So let's not put this all on Preston like he's the problem. And yes, I know Preston is not squeaky clean. He used women to get back at Danny, under the direction of Zach, but okay. So yeah, I just can't take Danny seriously anymore, and Every time it's just her and Tony, I just get really tired and I start yawning. I'm just bored. They're boring. I don't care. Here's my thoughts. All the girls don't have to date interracially. They don't. There can be a pro-black love message in the show. That's not my issue. My issue is just that if there's so many women in there that are main characters, Fatima is technically a main character, right? Karen is a main character. Sabrina is a main character. Andy's a main character. All of them have to end up with niggas? All of them? That's realistic? Okay, so if there are 5 black women, all of them will end up being married to niggas. That's not even true. I feel like at least one of them should have a successful, at least in the end, a successful date out thing. Just one of them. I don't need all of them, but it would just be really refreshing to have one of them. Like I said before, Danny and Preston's relationship used to be refreshing. Like when the world was falling down and the girls were going through all sorts of drama and nonsense, I could rest and relax whenever I saw Danny and Preston on my screen a few years ago. That has obviously changed, but it is what it is. Okay, let's just get into Fatima and Zach. Yes, I call her Fatima on purpose. So there was something that Fatima said when she was with Andy. I know we're skipping ahead really far, but I wanted to discuss this. She said, I would go through hell with Zach. I'd rather that than being alone and feeling lonely and being by myself. Tyler, that's so disrespectful. And it's so interesting because it's kind of the exact opposite of Fatima's actor. Like she's, in her 40s by herself. She doesn't necessarily want to be by herself, but I doubt she would go through the Zach thing. I don't know her, but she doesn't seem the type that would take what Fatima is taking. It honestly, every time Fatima opens her mouth about Zach for more than 5 minutes, my point that they should not be together just gets proved. I understand that there are Fatima supporters, and I understand where it came from. They were cute at first to me too, but after a while, the taste in my mouth just grew a little bitter and ashy. If they end up together, it's fine, because I know that Zach is trying to do better. It's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily complain about them a lot, because unlike some of the other guys, I know that Zach is trying to do better. However, I feel like Fatima deserves better, and two things can be true at the same time. Her and Zach can be cute, but she can also deserve better. A lot of people can settle and be with somebody and go through a lot and then end up happy. And then somebody can also end up with someone that just makes them feel good from the get-go, and they don't have to go through more than just regular relationship stuff. Not that they have to end up going to court for. Okay? So I just wanted to say that. Side note, the family court guy looks like the little brother from Lizzie McGuire. If that is him, random. Where are all these Disney? Is Tyler Perry just like slowly bringing in the Disney kids? Who are you? The Disney dudes. Let me stop. But yeah, just a little weirdness there. But yeah, I just thought that was very interesting for her to say. And of course she continued and said that they've been through a lot, but she's happy with him. And I can see that she's happy with him. Unlike Tony and Danny, Fatima and Zach have pretty good banter. Even though I don't necessarily like them together anymore, every time you see them together, you see why people like them together. It's not my cup of tea, but I see why it's other people's cup of tea. That's why I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you on Tony and Danny, but I'm not gonna fight you on Zach and Fatima. It's just my personal opinion. That's why I always say that, like, hey, I was with you a few years ago, but yeah, it's a lot. I just feel like she deserves so much more, and it's being really hard for me to watch her go through all this all the time. All right. So they're going through it, trying to find out what's going on with the baby. Once again, Tyler is dumbing Fatima down, making Zach the intelligent one. He's the one that has to like remind her to think it through. Like, girl, once again, you work at a law office. Why is the reformed criminal telling you to think things through? This is like Zuko telling Sokka to think things through. Like, is this Freaky Friday? Like, what? It's about to be Freaky Friday with those two as well, and I'm so sick and tired of it. Honestly, I'm just scared for Fatima, but with the way this writing is, she's gonna go through all of it and end up being okay. It doesn't really matter what I think. If consequences for actions really stuck, maybe this show would be better. And maybe that's the problem. Consequences for actions don't stick as much as they should. And so, like, let's say Tyler keeps making these weird decisions for these characters, but the decisions that these characters make stick. More than just like a pregnancy. Like if somebody dies, somebody has to go to prison. If something's going on at the workplace, somebody has to actually lose their job, they can't get it back. If things go sour in a relationship and cheating happens, I know a lot of people go back when there's cheating, but somebody gonna end up being left forever. Like, some people just not gonna go back. Like, maybe if there was more consequences for actions, the show wouldn't annoy me as much. Because even if people are doing things that I don't like, it's like, well, you're being dumb. I think that's part of the problem. Like, when it comes to Danny and Tony and Preston, like, I feel like Danny is not going to get the full consequences of her actions with this. With Fatima and Zach, I feel like Fatima is constantly getting consequences for actions, but they're not sticking in the way that would read to her that maybe Zach is not the one for you. With Andy and Gary, the fact that she was with a rich abuer, that's not sticking enough for me, right? If we're doing the whole, well, she can't be with Robin because that was a abuse of power, that not even that stuck enough, right? So there's lots of things that just did not stick enough for me personally to make some of these storylines make sense. But it is what it is. Finally, a video that's not half an hour long. But yeah, please give me your thoughts down below. This was a more slice of life episode, a little bit on the mundane. This episode felt a lot like, even though it was boring, it felt a lot better rounded. It felt like we went through morning, lunch, night. Like, it felt like we went through a whole day, because usually with a Tyler Perry show we go through like morning, evening, or morning, lunch, night, midnight. Like, we don't usually go through an entire day. So that was cool to like go through an entire day. It felt better paced, better balanced. Hopefully the writing can reflect that later on. Yeah, not nearly as angry as I usually am, because I just care a lot less, but we're gonna get into that later. Tune in next week, Wednesday, for another character talk video. Let me know who you want me to speak about. In any case, let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Your thoughts, love to read them. You guys are hilarious, and you guys make a lot of good points, and I love responding to y'all. But in any case, goodbye, my sires. Sue.